Good morning, joggers. What you just witnessed there was the circle of life. So today I was almost about to not wake up again at my regular time. Again, my body seemed to, try and want to wake up at 4. So I woke up and just said, no, let's not try this again. So continued to sleep. So alarm went off and I managed to get out at about 6:40 a.m. That's okay. I certainly hope that I will not continue to wake up so early every time. So today I'm presently walking in a location I haven't been before. I saw a little bit of it on Google Maps last night, so it appears to be a large water area that is present not too far from my apartment actually. So wanted to explore it a little bit, and it seemed like there were some forest area also, of course, nearby. So it makes for a nice scenic view and relaxed view while I'm walking about. It's a lot of bird wildlife here. So with that said, let's enjoy the calm a bit by looking at ducks for the next 2 minutes and take in the morning calmness. Now maybe you were wondering why I'm kind of interested in aquatic life and water in general, and that's because I still have, and I used to own a lot of aquariums, and when I say a lot, it's not that many, three pieces to be exact. And I wouldn't say I was a enthusiast, that I had these aquariums, like large size aquariums with a specialist saltwater aquariums or keeping special species or whatever. No, it wasn't quite like that. It was more related to just enjoying to watch aquarium fish move about a lot. I'm just gonna sit down here for a while. So like I said, I had 3 pieces, various sizes. I believe the biggest one was 180 liters, and then it ranged down to 120 liters, and the smallest one was about 62, maybe 60 to 80 liters, so quite small actually. And I used to keep a variety of species. The largest one was of course the main one, and in that one I had, I would say, roughly at the peak around 40 fish, small size mostly. I had some bigger species as well, but they were like single out. So Placo, I think one Placo, I believe it was they are called, and then some scalars, and I was so fortunate to actually get them to breed, a lot of them, while I had them kept. So very fortunate. A lot of plant life in that one also. And then let's move over to the second one. The second one was a little bit more where I tried a little bit different, tried to make it a little bit like a species related one. So I only kept tetras in that one, I believe. Only 1 or 2 species of tetra. And the water level I kept pretty low, which was kind of interesting. So the pump I had inside, let's say I had maybe the aquarium to 1/3 filled up with water, and the pump was submerged to give a stream, and with so little water, then of course it pushes that remainder of water quite fast and creates a kind of stream effect, I would say. So I tried to mimic like a water stream, a quite powerful one. So the stream would flow, the majority, the strength of the stream would flow in front of the glass where you could watch it, and then you could see these fish fight against the water stream, you can say. So that was very interesting to see how they still as a group got into that more stream water, and then just tried to fight it or just be taken back by the stream and then fight back against it. So I tried to mimic a little bit more, maybe a possible scenario where a natural environment where I believe that these fish could exist in smaller streams in the Amazon, and where you had these rapids. And then the water level, of course, in the Amazon can vary quite a lot. So I also tried to mimic that part, in the sense that in periods I would have it 1/3 filled up, but also at times I would even reduce it even more, so to kind of simulate that it would be drying up for whatever reason because of no rainfall. So reduce it a little bit more, and then of course is it still some rapids there, some water flowing, but the other areas where the sand was and where the vegetation was would be more exposed, and you would see the fish really close to the surface actually, and where they would be hiding out and so on. So barely just covering up the pump itself that I had in that aquarium. And the last one was more like a kind of breeding aquarium, I would say. So I would keep single species there. Usually if I could spot out then a female and a male, try to mimic as close as possible optimal breeding conditions, and then just hope for the best. So I would keep them there for a while to see if something happens. So actually, I could get most of the species to breed in that aquarium, like also some cichlids, pallet cichlids. I don't know if that's what they call in English, but at least if I directly translate it from Swedish, then yeah, pallet cichlids, which is kind of easy to breed. I will get a lot of those and just breed up to selling size, I would say. So a size where I could actually go to a vendor and say, okay, I have these here. You can get them for so much per piece. Are you interested? And then they could say, yeah, sure, I would buy 20 pieces from you. So when you get so many, you can only keep so many in one time, right? As you're not a professional, just a bare minimum hobbyist, I would say. Then if you keep so many fish, and if they breed and reproduce, then you have to either try not to keep any, like get them out of the tank and kill them off, or you can try to breed them to a selling size and then get rid of them, or at least the ones, majority of the ones that you cannot really see that you want to keep for yourself at least. So yeah, that was a small background on my love for that. And finally, I still have, those aquariums, they still exist, but I haven't been using them, and I don't keep them at my place. In the final attempt to get something really, really big going, I wanted to create a aquarium where fill it up completely with water, then about 800 liter aquarium, so quite huge one. And this one remains to be constructed, you can say. So what I did was I managed to get some glass panels from they were actually used at the boutique, and the boutique and the entire house, the entire building actually was meant to be demolished. So I told destruction or deconstruction people that I would like to buy from them these big display windows facing outside. Were quite big windows actually. I didn't need all of them, I just needed sufficient amount of them to have material to build an aquarium. So I bought 4 of these very large display windows, and they were super heavy, of course, and we had to be quite careful to remove them. They were quite old, which was a kind of a concern, but at least a concern to keep them in one piece, you can say, during transportation. I also arranged then to have them cut to specifications by a glass cutting company located in the town that I was living. That was also arranged, and then they just ended up sitting there basically. Since my family, they were not so keen on having, they were okay to have aquariums, but maybe not an aquarium of that size. And also it was about where to keep that aquarium, and you also have to have some construction to raise it up and to keep it in harm's way in case something would happen. And then we're talking about insurance companies and blah 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 blah. There's a long thing here. If it would break, what covers it, and so on. and they didn't want to, or at least we never settled on that I would be keeping it at home. So the idea was always then that I would have it in wherever I would live later on, since I was living at home. But it never came to happen because I had some apartments, but most of my apartments, they were quite high up where I was living, so it could be the 4th floor, 5th floor, whatever. And again, you come into these kinds of things where, yes, you could probably set it up, and probably you would be able to find supporting beams in the apartment under the flooring, so that would take off the weight. But we're talking about quite a lot of weight here. So just the water part of it, 800 liters equals 800 kilos as a bare minimum. Then you have the substrate, then you have the construction set underneath, and that one has to be quite supportive. So it could be made out of metal or something, some material that can take that weight. And maybe you don't want to have it like if you know exactly where the construction beams are, then you could have the aquarium fit just exactly there, or you would need to expand on the area where you have support from the ground, and the more you add as a support, the more it's gonna weigh. So you could end up with something weighing in the vicinity of 850 kilos, and that's quite a lot. And if something would happen, then you're just sitting there with water damage, possibly not only in your own apartment, but going down into apartments below. So it wasn't worth that at the time. So who knows? Will this one ever be constructed? Will I ever set it up? And I hope so. It would be great. The glass panels are just sitting there, so it could be one of these hobby projects that I, in the end, finally, several decades later, decide to put together and have when I retire to look at. Oh yeah. That was a small fun rant, basically about nothing, but at least something related to what I see in my surroundings, right? So until tomorrow, have a nice day.